Happy New Year! Right now it is 2024, and with that comes my very first market update of the year. Last month in December, it seems like everything was down, and that is going to be consistent going into 2024. So for my December market update, we talked about interest rates being at about 7.02% when I made that video, which is like the first week of December, which I was very, very happy about. I was very happy to see interest rates dropping a little bit. And right now, they have dropped even further to about a 6.62%, which is it's beautiful. Everyone is happy to see it. I'm happy to see it, and I'm so happy to really get some of my buyers going. So with interest rates dropping, I've been talking to a lot of my past clients who couldn't get approved just because of how high they were. It was just a little bit out of their approval range, but with them a little bit lower, over 1% lower than what they were last year. Some more people are being able to get approved, and some more people are able to buy a house, which is very, very exciting. So if you tried last year with no luck, maybe try again with new interest rates, and you might get approved for just enough to really get you in. Now, something very interesting to note is we are expecting the Fed to cut interest rates at least 3 times this year, which I really want to dive deep to, and let's talk about it. Now, it is very, very unlikely that the Fed is going to start their very first interest rate cut this early on to the year. I think we're still waiting on things to stabilize, and so if we do see something like a Q3 cut interest rate, and then they start dropping it even more after Q3, we could see a really, really crazy late game real estate season this year. Or they could start in Q2, and then we'd still have a pretty nice end of the year for real estate. It all depends on when they start cutting it. It's a toss-up. We really don't know what's going to happen. But one thing we do know is that as soon as the Fed starts cutting interest rates, I think the real estate market's going to go a little bit bananas. I think more buyers are going to buy. I think more buyers are going to get approved for loans. I think they're going to have a little bit more affordability. And so I think there's going to be a lot more competition out there. You're going to get into bidding wars. Sellers are going to be very, very happy with the offers they're going to be receiving. I think it's really going to drive up prices a little bit. And it's going to be a little crazy, but it will be really, really fun, whether you're a buyer, whether you're a seller, as long as you have some really good strategies going forward. So pretty much ever since Halloween, October of 2023, all you've been hearing me talk about is how real estate's slowing down. It's the holiday season. People are hunkering in with their families. They have to save money for gifts for Christmas. There's so many reasons why real estate slows down towards the end of the year. And you guys will be happy to note that we are getting closer and closer to the spring season, which is highly regarded as the best time of the year to sell your house. And so no more you're going to be seeing these videos about how slow everything is. Things are going to be picking up, and they're going to be picking up pretty fast. So don't try and get into a place or really try to start looking for a price as soon as spring starts. I think if you can get ahead of it, start even before springtime, so that as soon as springtime hits, you're not behind everyone and you can get a head start on the market. Now, I quickly want to brush over some of the market stats for the January of 2024 report. Something to note is everything is still going to be down, even though it is the new year and things are going to start looking up from here. Christmas and New Year's was only either last week or like 2 weeks ago. And so people are hurting after spending all of those money on gifts, vacations, time with their family, and you got to bounce back. And so everything's going to continue to stay down. Some very important metrics to look at. New listings, we saw a decrease of 36% in new listings. We also saw a decrease of 7% in closed homes. It's going to stay down a little bit. And I think we're probably going to see something very, very similar going into February before it really starts to pick up. Now, a nice little last note before I end the video is I really want to talk about how a lot of buyers are going to try and time this market and try to time it so that they can get into a house, really lock in their interest rate when interest rates are lowest. So just like the stock market, it is very, very hard to time the real estate market. You can't try and get in at the absolute lowest rate, because what if rates go down a little bit lower? Or what if rates go a little bit higher and you should have locked in at that time? If you've invested in the stock market, you know it's always a lot better if you just cost dollar average and just keep investing in the stock market. And it's pretty similar in the real estate market. I think locking in at a rate like 6.6% is still a very, very good rate, especially if you just have the sellers buy down your interest rate. You could have a 3% interest rate your first year if you do a 3-2-1 buy down, which would be amazing, and it's a really, really good scenario to get into. Now, pretty much like what I was talking about earlier in this video, if everyone waits for the Fed to start cutting interest rates and for interest rates to be at its lowest of the year, everyone's getting approved for houses, you're gonna run into some really, really tough competition. And now that house where you had a little bit higher interest rate that's worth $500,000 might start going for $550,000, $560,000. And then you're gonna be paying more money up front for the house. And it's gonna pretty much equal about the same than if you locked in at a little bit higher interest rate and just got into a house before everyone else is going. It's all up to you guys. I really do think you should talk with your real estate agent, talk with your lender, talk to anyone with experience before you get into it and just see what they have to say as well. Now for my sellers, I think that sellers are going to be having a fantastic time coming up. With spring season coming up, everything's going to be selling for more. Sellers are going to probably start getting into bidding wars. They're going to start receiving more offers, and I think they're going to have a better time. However, once you do sell that house, you're gonna have to buy another house. And so if you do wait too long and getting to more bidding wars with those other buyers, especially if it's contingent on the sale of your first house, you might have a really, really hard time. So again, talk with the real estate agent, talk with your lender, get some really, really good sound advice, have a strategy coming in. You'll have a great time this year. Well, that pretty much wraps up my video. It's very nice to see you guys coming into the new year. I really hope everyone has new goals, new aspirations, and hopefully home buying is one of those goals. I am Kareem Howard with Coldwell Banker Realty. I will see you guys next week.